Hi, everyone. This is Chris Seidel with the Martha's Vineyard Commission. Today's GIS how-to is walking you through the process of having coordinates in a spreadsheet, such as Excel, and then loading that information into ArcGIS Online so you can actually see those locations on a map. So here we have a simple spreadsheet in Excel, and we're just going to imagine these are water sampling stations um, somewhere on Martha's Vineyard. Um, so the two things that you really need in the file are the longitude, which is here is our X coordinate, and it's represented as a negative because we are west of Greenwich Mean, Greenwich, England. And then we have our Y latitude coordinate, which is represented as a positive because we are north of the equator. And then we have the other actual data that goes with this location. Because the great thing about GIS is that it's not just, a point on the map, but there's actual information associated with that point. And that information gets organized just into different columns within your spreadsheet. So, for example, here we have a dissolved oxygen reading. The other column is our turbidity reading, doing, again, water sampling. We have the date of when the data were collected, and then we also have a station name. Obviously, the columns of information in your spreadsheet, will be different. Just a quick note about the column name that you give to each respective column. My advice is don't use any special characters. Using an underscore is fine. Do not start the name of the column with a number. And then also, if you can keep the column name to 10 characters or less, that can be helpful somewhere down the line, not absolutely required. So this is our spreadsheet. From Excel, I've saved this one as a CSV file. All right, so we get out of Excel. So now we're in ArcGIS Online, and you'll want to sign in. And you can only do this if you have certain credentials in ArcGIS Online. You have to be someone who can create data, publish data, that kind of thing. And if you find that you don't have those credentials, then you should talk to whoever your administrator is of your organization's ArcGIS Online site. So from here, I'm on the content page, and then I click New Item. And now within this window, I'm simply going to drag and drop my station CSV file over here, and it's asking what we want to do. So basically, do we want to put this into ArcGIS Online and turn it into a data set? Or the lingo here is hosted feature layer? Or do we just want to upload it and keep it as a CSV file? So if you want to see it on a map, then you want this first option to create the hosted feature layer or data. So now what you do is you look at the column names that ArcGIS Online is recognizing and just make sure, that it's seeing everything that you expect to see. So we have our station over here with type. again, take your time, make sure that the data get uploaded accurately. So station, it's when they call it a string, it means that it's really text. It's not just a number. So that's accurate. Our X, our longitude value for when they say double, that's a number that has decimal place values with it. So you definitely want it to be recognized as a double. Again, with the latitude, Y, that's a number with decimals, so make sure it's a double. Our dissolved oxygen readings, those are numbers with decimal values, so again, make sure it's a double. Turbidity, that's actually only a number without decimals, so that's fine that it's recognized as an integer. And then for the date, we're only uploading date. We're not uploading date with a time. So date only is just fine. All right, so that's all good. So now you hit next. And now it's just wanting to verify which columns in the spreadsheet are representing your coordinates. So our latitude, again, is our Y, longitude is our X. Here you can give a title to this new data set that you're going to create. And we'll just call it water sampling stations. Folder is just where within your ArcGIS Online cloud space you want to store it. Categories, you can just assign this to different categories, which can be helpful down the road sometimes to help you actually find your data. So we'll say it's environment, it's health, water quality. Here we have water quality, whatever categories you feel fit your data set, you put that in there. Additional tags, whatever is appropriate again for your data. And all these tag things can help you and others find your data. Right. And then just a brief summary of your data set. And a lot of this stuff, actually all of this, you can go back later and change it or add to it. And then we save it. And just give it a few minutes. Okay, so it now looks like it's completed. So with every new data set that you create, there's this overview page. So, here's our title that we'd put in. This is our summary information that we had included. We scroll down. Here we see the categories we put in, as well as the tags. Credits. I encourage you to give yourself credit for the work that you've done. So either your name or your organization's name, and then just a date. That's important to put in there. You can add more, a more lengthy description about the data. You can also include, referenced hot links within that description, which can often be helpful, as well as terms of use. So any disclaimer, about the data, I encourage you to take the time to include that. So to actually finally get to the data, if we do open in Map Viewer, we should then see our points on the map. And this is fantastic. Here we have these 3 little points in Senji-Kentucket Pond. Just quickly, if you want to change the icon that's used here in symbology, you just do edit layer style, and they're all shown with the same symbol. So location, single symbol, style options. And simply, if you just want to increase the size, you can just make that bigger. Then obviously you can play around and change color and all those sorts of things. And that's done. And just to show, if we click on a point, all of the information that we had in our spreadsheet is now associated with the respective point within the data set. So we have our date collected, our dissolved oxygen reading, our station name, turbidity reading, as well as our XY location. Here, the X and the Y, it appears as if, it's only showing 2 decimal places when our spreadsheet had more. That, I believe, is just a reflection of how the pop-up is set. Here, if we go under fields and we look at this X value, so it's only showing the 2 significant digits, but we can increase that since we know our data actually had more. So you see all the data are really there. It's just the pop-up wasn't showing all of it. So there's the data in the pop-up. And then also, if we, over here in the layers, click on those 3 dots and then do show table, this will, again, show us the data in a spreadsheet format. But again, all of this information is now, associated with this location on the map. And that is simply taking coordinates from a spreadsheet and creating them into a data set for ArcGIS Online. And from here, if you needed to do a measurement from one of these points, you then just use the map tool with the wrench and do measurement, and then you can measure from there. And I think that'll be a different demo. All right, thank you very much.